I cooked my first hog when I was 11. It's true. But that says more about my father's attitude toward work and play than it says about me being a pig prodigy. I was in middle school, and there was a basketball game that night that I wanted to go to. My father told me that if I wanted to go to the game, I had to finish all my work first. And my work that day included firing the hog. Then he left. Every 10 to 15 minutes, I had to put coals under that hog. It was daylight, but it was dark under the pig, even with the coals burning red. I had to keep taking my flashlight and peeping under it to make sure the meat wasn't burning. What I didn't know was that my father had another guy around watching to make sure I kept up. I found that out later. That man didn't do anything while I was cooking. All afternoon, wasn't nobody burning the wood and working the pit but me. I'll never forget how golden brown the color was on that hog when my father came back. They flipped the hog over and I was like, wow, I can do this. But it wasn't like that was the start of a whole new set of responsibilities for me. I still was a helper, not a pitmaster. But I have to give my father credit. He probably knew I was ready because I had been watching him for years by then. And I wasn't just watching. I was always asking questions. I was learning. In the beginning, my father only cooked one hog, one day a week on Thursdays. The pit was built kind of low, maybe 2.5 or 3 feet off the ground. I was always trying to see what was going on, especially with the fire. And they were always warning me not to get too close. These days, we have a burn barrel, a 55-gallon drum that we stand up and feed the wood into to create hardwood charcoal. As the wood burns, the embers fall and we scoop those up to put under the hog. Back then, the wood would just be burning in a pile, and you would dig your shovel in there to get your coals to put under the hog. The aroma that came out of that pit was just unforgettable, and the sound of that fat dripping, sss, sss, was too. I kept asking my father and the 1 or 2 other men working with him, "What y'all doing?" Little by little, they showed me, and I loved it. That led to more questions like, when can I do that? And can I hold a shovel? At first, they cooked during the day, while I was at school. Later, when I was in high school, they would cook overnight because a lot of people wanted to buy the barbecue for lunch. So it had to come off the pit earlier. In those days, I'd be sleeping when they were doing the cooking. So I would only get to see it every now and again, like during the holidays. Sometimes there would be more men working with my father, and sometimes there would be friends just hanging around shooting the breeze. That's when I saw there was also a kind of fellowship around the pit. It was a one-of-a-kind experience to be out there with the men cooking. Besides being around the pit, the 2 things I enjoyed most in those days were music and cars.